This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So, last session we were discussing about the Prometheus, right? So let's see. Today the cluster might have created. Let's see how lucky we are to get it done automatically. So let's see releases. Okay, workstation. Oh, it got pending here. I don't know. Somehow this workstation is not getting started. So what is it telling is you must specify a region. Okay, so edit release. I go to the task, this one. Okay, hyphen region, US hyphen east hyphen one. So let's try once again and see. So we need to start our workstation. Why? Because workstation is having an agent software for my databases to run. Okay, that's the reason we need this. So now it is successful. So it moved on to the databases. Yeah. So let me update the pipeline as well. So for the next time, at least, it will not break. So once this is comes or once this is done, basically, so what we are going to achieve now is, so we are going to see the we're going to see the performance of our application by putting some load onto the application. How do I put the load? So that's where this comes into picture. The load runner, which is directly provided by the vendor. What is this? GitHub / Instana rubber shop. And so here, this guy actually giving the load generator also, load gen. So all I need to do is just run this particular one. Okay. And he also provides a Docker. Basically, I will prefer to go with the Docker because it's easier, rather than actually set up all this particular one. So I would like to better go with this one. Okay. So I will just take this command. So Docker run -d is fine, and -rm is also okay. Don't worry about these options for now. Name is necessarily not needed. Network is also not needed. So the endpoint we have to provide, that's okay. And the number of clients is this. Number of clients you want to put it, and how much time you want to run. Do you want to send some errors? Okay. So do you want to give a silent output? And finally, this particular one. All right. So silently you want to do that? No, that also I'll remove it. Okay. Errors you want to put? No, I want to put 0 only. I mean, like that's okay. And so how much time you want to send it? Okay, like let's say first we'll start with 10 minutes. Okay, and then number of clients, okay, 5 is fine, and we need to give the URL, and it's not like a -d. I will just remove this. Okay, this is the command which I'm going to run it. So let me put it for your reference here. Wiki no run. Only the thing you need to change is here you have to change the URL in your case. That's it. Okay, cool. The database is fine. Now we move on to the other components. So others are this. Once this component is done, catalog is done, cart is done, user is also done. So finally the payment. Cool. So all services are done. Now the front end will not work as expected. Why? Because the front end will not work as expected. Why? Because it was started earlier. Because before to all these particular services. So that's where some DNS issue would have been there. Let me go and restart the service. To restart the service, we do require so C sudo ssh. So system CTL, just restart nginx. nginx. Now it will work. So because actually the front end is starting very starting. If I remove this front end, if I keep at the ending also is fine. But actually I think that it depends upon ALB might be. Okay, so we will see that if ALB is a dependent on ALB data.tf is dependent on front end, yeah. Actually we can change a little bit code so that nginx actually can be kept at the ending. Okay, that's okay. For now, that's okay. It's a simple work. We can do it manually, not a big deal. So we got the environment, fine, and I want to put the load onto this. Okay, but before to that, is my every component working? Let me go and check it out. So let me go to the load balancers, and I'll go to the public load balancer, and I will just take this and put it here and enter. Okay, you're having this. All right, and now over here, so you're just going to register. Just say struct@local.com. Registered, which worked fine, and then I'll go to any product, something. Just click on add to cart. So cart is getting added. So click on checkout. So the countries is not coming. Something wrong there. Okay, let's find out what is the problem in the shipping side. Shipping, yeah. Log messages. There is an error. cat/var log messages or vim/var log messages. There is an exception came out actually. MySQL. Okay, did I made something like this? I think on the database side, I did something little tricky. Okay, if I go to the Terraform apply, it might be breaking. So that is the reason I would have done something. So go to the pipeline, go to the databases, and you go to the Terraform apply. Even though it is a failure, I want to run this. Yeah. So somehow actually, so for the first time, it's actually failing. Okay, now if I go and if I go to the databases and if I look into the output, so what is the output? So somewhere it ought to be a failure. Is the schema load up? So you see this cluster creation is fine. Yeah, error running the MySQL thing. So this is actually failing it out for some reason. I just need to wait for some time or something like that I should do. Okay, so let me fix that actually here in the Terraform databases. So I will just go for MySQL, and here actually rather than immediately doing it, so I will just say that so rf rs hyphen MySQL. I just want to delete that earlier one and sleep for some 60 seconds and do it. Okay, so that kind of approach I'm giving. Let's see what's going to happen next time, but for now I will just deploy it once again. It will go as expected. Only databases, the schema is not loaded. This is a known issue. Just to avoid my pipeline failure, I was just giving that. So tomorrow we'll try to take a look with the sleep 60 seconds is really working or not. So what I'll do is I will just change this to this double pipe true is only to skip the error. Now that's okay. Tomorrow we'll see again if needed. Next time, basically tomorrow next time. Okay, now I think it went fine. So it's okay. So schema is applied. Now since schema is applied, I'll just go back to the card and click on checkout. It should be fine. Yeah. So then I'll go for just click on calculate, confirm, and pay now. The payment is happening. Okay, perfect. So this is working fine. So that means I'm okay to put some load onto this my application. So where I want to run is I want to go with my workstation. So sudo lab auto Just install Docker here. So just install Docker. I think so. Second option you can choose Docker C. Okay, cool. So you just need to relog in. Of course, I just go back and just relog in back once again. Sorry, Docker. Yes, this should work. Yeah, it's working. I'll take this command and I will keep it over here, but the URL. First of all, let me see the Prometheus dashboards. This is my Prometheus Grafana dashboard. If I go here, Prometheus, this colon 3000. Okay, so what all the dashboards we created already? Home. There are no dashboards we created. Seriously. Okay, so let me just go and create a dashboard first. So I'm going to have the data. So here, node underscore load underscore one. Just click on execute. So you're getting all the cart, catalog, front end, and all the nodes you're getting. Okay, cool. So now, first of all, I just want to do the monitoring for my add a dashboard. So this dashboard, I would like to say this as is RoboShop nodes or something like that. Okay, just click on save the RoboShop nodes. Inside this, I want to add one panel. So one panel is I want to add is here is add panel. So here I want to say that so this is CPU load average. Okay, so how do you get the CPU load average? Basically, so node underscore first of all, let me find out the metric node underscore CPU. Okay, so how do you do the CPU? How do you calculate the load? How much percentage that CPU is using? The load average is different. The load average is something different. The load percentage is something different. So I'm looking for how much percentage actually the load is actually executing. So the CPU seconds total is going to tell you how much usage is there. Okay, so you're going to get so core 0 and core 0, but you're getting you're getting multiple ones. So out of this, what I'm looking for here is I kind of look everything. So for card dev, it is telling that ideal, IO8, IRQ, nice, software queue, and still system and user. So I think I should use everything. Okay, I will go with ideal. See how the calculation, it's all calculation only. Let me show you the calculation. So the calculation I'm thinking here is, hmm, so previously you did some memory calculation here. The same way I'm going to do the calculation for my CPU. So how much is, so the CPU actually going to come up like this. If you put a okay, a top command. So top command will show you what is the percentage CPU. So this is the percentage user, okay. So you have user, okay, and you have system, and you have system, and you have niceness, okay. So which is niceness, okay, and finally you have idle, okay. Idle. All right, come back here. So these are the four things which are having. Now the idle is 100% now. So that means these are nothing. All these together is actually has to be 100%, okay, or 100. Now idle if I remove, so this is the actual usage from the process side. So that means so total 100 minus idle is nothing but the usage. 100 minus idle, right? Idle is equal to the percentage of usage. So this I have to calculate. Okay, so that I want to calculate now. Right. So how do I do that? So that means idle. I'll be going with the idle. So mode equal to idle. So I want to start some filtering. So mode equal to idle. I'll give. Okay, execute it. It's the one you are getting. So this is actually going to be 100 minus. This is a how much percentage? Mm, okay, there are two CPUs for each and every one. Okay, so we're using T2 small. So this is one CPU and this is another CPU. Okay, so we need to first sum up these particular numbers first of all. So then we can do that. Okay, so mode equal to idle. So how to do that? Just need to come up with a calculation and but 9% is also wrong. 9% ideal is also wrong. What is this number, whichever it is coming? Or let me look for CPU. Is there anything additional? I get it. Node underscore CPU. Okay. So here, Prometheus calculate usage. Okay, this is the rate, right? Yeah. Okay, this is the rate coming up. Okay. So rate is nothing but it's a kind of a metric. It's not a number what you're getting actually, you're getting a number. So that means it's actually, it's actually coming in a prorated format. Okay. So that means if I want to get this in rate, so I have to go for, so average of 5 minutes, then this one I have to take it as a part of rate. Okay. So let's execute this. So this is the percentage. Now you see this 0.99. So that means 99% is ideal. Okay. Now out of this, actually, I am looking for mode is equal to ideal. Okay. Now you're going to get two CPUs actually, right? So now two CPUs I'm going to get, like I'm going to give sum of these two values. Okay, execute it. Sum is actually summing everything. No, 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 no. Might not be sum here, but I have to do sum here. Like sum of. No, this went wrong. We can do individually. I'm just thinking, how can we make how can we make in a common way? So what I'm saying is, so I can go for sum for now. Okay, so you can just give this and first you execute this. You're getting the data. You execute. Okay, you're getting the 5 minutes data. All right. So now out of this, you're getting a rate. So rate, you take the rate, then you get the rate of all this. So which actually becomes an exact value. Okay, this is also fine. What I'm actually saying here is, so you can go for comma instance is equal to okay. So cart hyphen Dave. Okay, like let's say cart. It's a cart instance. I will just say execute it. So now you are going to get this, and out of this, actually you can go for sum. Okay, execute it, and you want an average divided by 2. Okay, so execute it. So this is the whole expression for cart actually. So now you can put multiple expressions on the Grafana. So you can go to the Grafana and you say that, so this is the one. So this is for cart, and actually you're going to say this is actually for and the data is from Prometheus. Okay, this is the data you're getting, and this is actually going to be a cart service. Okay, so you're seeing this as a cart. Actually you're getting something whole this one. You can put a, you want a custom, so name here for that particular one. You can just you got, so you got it. Okay, you got cart. This is a cart load which is happening. Okay, so this is actually going to be it's actually 100 value. It's going to be 100 minus. Okay, so the usage is really no 100 calculation. So by 2 you're getting point in a 0.99. Okay, so then into 100. Okay, this also I should do. All right. So that means in the Grafana side, uh, 100 minus actually into 100. Yeah, is the right value. So you're having just the 0% usage. All right, perfect. So the same way, now you can just go for catalog, and you say that as catalog. Okay, so this is catalog, and if you go for catalog payment, and then shipping, and then user. So these 5 components I want to do, and along with that I also want to go with the front end is also a server. So I'll just go with the front end. I will say front end. Okay, so just click on save. Okay, so this is CPU usage percentage. Okay, so just click on save. Individually also, if you want to look also is fine, but for now I just want to go with this. Not last 6 hours, last 15 minutes I want to take a look. Okay, which is fine. And the next thing I wanted to do the same way is I would like to go with memory. How do I go with the memory? So memory also I need to come with a calculation, and then I have to use this. Yeah, first of all, I will be going with memory. So let me read, like, what all the memories you have options. So node memory side, you're going to have memory free, memory total. Okay, total minus free is nothing but usage. So here free, you're taking memory total bytes minus this one. Okay, so but actually I just want to put again small calculation. Okay, so here what is the calculation I want to go with is a simple mathematical calculation. So total is equal to, like, let's say 1024 MB. Okay, so the free is some okay, 500 MB. Okay, so then what is the usage? Basically so 1024 minus 200, whatever it is, around 500 MB. Okay, 500 MB, but you require some percentage, right? You require a percentage calculation. How I do a percentage calculation? Then I'll go with the total is equal to 1024. Then okay, so then our 1024 is equal to 100%. Okay, 500 MB is how much percent? Okay, so that becomes 100 into 500 by 1024. A very simple calculation, right? So your mathematics. So you just do a cross thing and you should be able to find it. Okay, so this is the percentage of how much is that. So I need to do all these things. Okay, so that means first of all I need to know what is the percentage, how much is the availability. Or from here only you can do that. Okay, so 1024 is 100 percentage and free is 500 MB. Okay, how much is the percentage actually? Okay, so that means free percentage will come into picture. 100 minus this much is fine. Okay, so that what I'm telling is um, so here this one, right? So 100 into this one. All right, 100 into free, 100 into this one. Okay, you do that, 100 into this one, and actually this is divided by, so this is divided by total bytes. Okay, so this is what you're getting. So 74 percentage is free. Okay, and out of this one actually it's going to be it's going to be 100 minus this one. This is the actual usage, percentage usage. Okay, so now you take this and I can go here and I will say this is the calculation. You're going to get every value. You're going to get every value and every value. So actually you're getting everything as a card because it's given as a card. You remove this, you're going to get the data like this. Out of this I'm actually looking only to keep the instance. So that's where I'll just give you give the name as instance only. It will show what are the values there in the instance. Instance is card dev and all this will come in. Okay, fine. All right, so this is memory usage percentage. So someone is red color is using 50%. You see the red color is actually, so shipping is already using some 50%. So it's a Java service, it's already using 50% somehow. The remaining services are okay. All right, so if you want to do something on the left side, you can just do some adjustments here. So what you can do is, so area fill area is, like, let's say you want a bit more darker. Okay, something like that, you can do that. And fill gradient, it's some transparency, so you can go with this, and you can go with this. Line width also, you want to be a little darker, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, so the memory usage percentage is what you're seeing. CPU percentage usage is what you're seeing. All right. So, and also if you want to find out if the service is running or not, also you can do that. If you want to find out the service is really running or not running, also you can do that. Okay. So that's fine. But for now, I'm looking for the resources. The services might not go down. So that's what I'm expecting. So that's where, yeah, let it be. This is okay. This is a CPU percentage, and here also let me bring them a little bit brighter. I'll put to 5, and I will go with some transparency. Okay, transparency 4, and line width also I'll just say this. Okay, so this is a looking graph basically. All right, so also I will just schedule this for auto refresh of every 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds I'm going to get this. The 15 minutes data I'm getting it. Okay, cool. So this is how the resource going on. Now I will go back here. Okay, and I will just take this one. My endpoint. My endpoint is my URL is this URL. Okay, now let me go and run this. So this is going to run some report on my command line, or it just continuously hits our application, and we will see how it is going. So let's watch for 10 minutes that what it is really going on. So it's continuously hitting, it's just doing it, whatever it is doing, let it be. Now what we want to do is I want to observe my resources. So yeah, so only one actually who is going to have some trouble here is seems to be is my shipping service. My shipping service memory is actually little spiked up just for 5 users, just for 5 users. Let's see, let's wait for the 10 minutes and see what's the report going on. So here also the load actually went high is also the shipping a little bit. It's only 2%. That's okay, but let's see. Let's watch for a couple of minutes. So it's kind of stabilized at a certain, okay, certain area basically. Okay, so let's see. Memory usage went bit high, but still actually it's kind of stabilized there. But the other services are, I mean, other services are quite fine. Okay, no issues. The others are very less. Okay. So the next time the run, whatever we do, we are going to reduce to, let's say, not 10 minutes. We'll just go with some 2-3 minutes, but we'll increase the number of users. Okay. We're just trying to benchmark the values here. Okay. Now, whenever we design the application, so we design the application in such a way that keeping the mind that, how many number of users is going to come to our application. Okay. How many users we want to serve. Okay. And how much relatively we want to maintain the infra. Like, let's say I will say that, so now 5 users are actually being served with this one. Okay, so 5 users are okay. 5 users are okay, um, over here, right? So 5 users, every service is okay, but not this service. So that means, so only the shipping service benchmark values are different, and these services benchmarks are different. Okay, so let's say 100 users. Like, let's say I'm expecting 100 users. If I'm expecting 100 users, so how do I do design my, okay, how do I do design my infra accordingly? Okay, so yeah, like single server, how many requests it can capable of? First, we need to calculate that. Okay, so then we can go with some benchmark values. Then we can decide the infra sizing, and based on that, we will, put our keep our auto scaling rules. Let's see. Can we stop this? I think it's okay. I press Control C. It's not stopping. Hey, did I change the time? It's not been 10 minutes. 10 minutes only. Yeah, it's kind of stopped anyhow. All right. So it gives some report basically. So actually there are some errors, all related to the ratings. Ratings are app actually we didn't integrate it. That's okay. So ratings is kind of having an error. It is telling. That's okay. Okay. So this is fine. But we got what we're actually looking for. We got some kind of metrics here. All right. So now I'll not run for a long time now. I will just go for 1 minute or 2 minutes just to start with. So I'm going to go with some, like let's say, so 5 users is very less. I'll just go for some 20 users, and then I will go for only for 1 minute of running it. So let's see the behavior, how it actually behaves now. Is it done immediately? So even though the memory is increased, we kind of came to a stagnant way that, so the memory usage is only this much. All right. And the memory is really not going high. And but the CPU is kind of getting spiked. All right. So yeah, we'll find out the reason for that. We'll do a reasoning for that. But so I'm just trying to do this, and let me take another load runner and also run it on the same machine on another terminal. But here also I will go for so some 1 minute. We're just looking the black box monitoring. So that means we are actually looking only for the the server side. We don't know really what's happening on the application. Okay, so that's next thing. But before to this, so yeah, we're just trying to understand from the outside how it is behaving. So you are also getting some exceptions while running it here. So these are all ratings and yeah. So now you see this shipping gig is giving 504s. The load run is telling that, so the shipping service is not consuming any more memory, but it's actually not able to handle this. Okay, so this much memory is not enough for our application. Our application, the memory is not enough. Um, with the existing memory, so we need to increase the memory. Okay, so how do I increase the memory? I need to take a bigger instance type, at least for shipping, and I will go with that one. Okay, so I will just go for T3 medium for shipping at least. So here it is actually even where Terraform ASG where's instance type is actually coming from there, so shipping, and then I will go with ASG. I go for VAS, not even here, envdev.tf VAS. So shipping T3 micro, T3 micro, we can go for T3 small, and then I'll go for T3 medium it all directly, medium. Okay, so I will just push this particular code, and I will just go and run my, I think both the pipeline, I mean, both the scripts are done, right? So I should not get any kind of errors. Okay, so I'm thinking a load to have some 50 users. So for 50 users, what is the capacity? So remaining resources are still okay, only this shipping is actually going crazy. Okay, so it's memory intensive application probably. Okay, so that's where I'm trying to give more memory to that. Okay, so let's go with infra, and I will just say shipping get release and create it. So now the shipping, the T3 medium changes will come. So, and we expect to create a new machine. Or if it is not creating it will not create automatically. So we just need to, kind of do it manually. So if you terminate the existing instance, the auto scaling group will kind of bring the new instance with T3 medium, because you're only updating the template. The existing servers will not get impacted with this change. Whatever you pushed it will not get impacted. Or we're not bothering about the changes so far coming up. The changes, whatever you are coming to the existing auto scaling group, we are not bothering about them. We need to start bothering about them. We'll talk about that. But for now, this is okay. So that is being applied. So that means the configuration of the template will be updated. Now I go to the auto scaling groups, auto scaling groups. You can go to the shipping hyphen dev. So it's actually, you can say that, just put it to 0. Update it. So let it terminate the instance first, then we will add one more instance. Actually, there is another way of updating the changes. So we'll talk about that. But for now, I'm doing it manually. But the shipping is really didn't went to terminated state. So let me forcefully terminate it. Okay, it was waiting for the ELB connection draining. All right, before terminating the instance. That's okay. is really slow. Okay, it's gone. So auto scaling group. Yeah, click on edit. You increase it to 1. The first, now the next instance which comes up here is going to be the bigger instance now. We just need to wait for the target to become active in order before hitting it. So it's actually initializing. It has to become healthy. And before to that, even the instance type we need to, I think we already seen it's a T3 medium. Okay, so go with the we have to wait for it becomes too healthy, then only the application will start working. Yeah, so it is healthy now. Now let's go to now let's go to do a manual check that everything is working fine. So let's go to login. Let's go to some product, add to cart, checkout, Australia. Science. Sorry. Okay, everything is working fine. Now I will just go and hit this once again. Okay, you're hitting it 20 clients here, you're hitting it. So first let's understand for the 20 clients for 1 minute and we'll see. Now there is a break actually here. It was here with the instance we got terminated and again it started monitoring here. So that's where it's coming from here. Okay, let's see. This slowly spike is going on. Okay, so now if you look into the responses, now who is actually giving the response problem is the payment is actually giving a problem. Okay, so I don't see any problem with the shipping or ratings. Ratings is fine. So the payment is actually started giving some 429 error. Okay, so why actually payment is actually giving a 429 error? So probably we need to take a look. Okay, so I had to go to the payment server. Now for something is happening now, what I have to do, I have to log into the system and do that. Okay, so that's a big problem. So that's the problem we are going to address next, which is by using Elasticsearch. Okay, so machine. So we really what happening where log messages. So you go there. Now what it is actually telling me is so the PayPal is actually returning 429. Okay, so the PayPal whatever some website it is using, it's actually giving returning a 429. So some reason. Okay, so you're continuously hitting paypal.com website. Okay, so the PayPal is kind of blocking our blocking our access. Okay, so there is some WAF and all something comes into picture, web application firewall. So someone I mean, so from their side they're actually stopping it. So now what I'll do is VIM EF for payment. So I will just give mm, 9 of this one. So VIM/home RoboShop payment and then payment.py. So here somewhere we'll be hard coding that paypal.com. Yeah. So why don't I change it as change it to some google.com. All we look is a response, whether that is giving a 200 response or not. So just do this. So systemctl start payment. Okay. So now I will go and run this for just 1 minute and see how it's really working. So now, as of now, the memory actually, after we increasing the memory, it's actually kind of is okay. Okay. After really increasing the memory, it's not consuming. Okay. There is a tricky part there. Okay. So even though you increase the memory of the shipping service, it's not consuming anymore. Okay. So yeah, why is that reason? We'll talk about that. Even after keeping more load, we'll come to know. Okay, so we kind of is okay now. And if I see the report is telling all ratings only. So ratings is okay. Ratings we haven't embedded. Okay, now it is good. Okay, so now let's go for so increase the number of users. Like let's say I'll go for 40. Run for 1 minute. So it's kind of done now. And if I look in all ratings only, so no issues. And once again, I'll go for even with the higher number, I'll go with some 60 number or double it, like basically some 80 number. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now it's done. So now if you see all ratings only, so you just understood that saturation point, whatever is happened for the rate, I mean for the shipping, it's not really consuming much of the memory. Like other services also now little choked up. And if you look into the last 30 minutes of the data, so yeah, so almost everything is almost same. Yeah, payments. Yeah, now you see this, it's choking a little bit more only because earlier it reached the saturation. So that means like I want to say like not to the maximum threshold you try to reach, and it kind of causing, it kind of cannot use any more memory. So that slowly the CPU also spiked up. So CPU spiking will happen in three reasons majorly. One, you use the CPU. You run an application or you run some process which is more CPU intensive, the CPU spike will happen. And the second thing, if memory is choked up, so then slowly the burden comes to, I mean the slowly the number of requests will be coming and cannot be processed completely, so that's where the CPU goes up. And the third one, the same thing related to the disk also. There's a lot of disk pressure happening. Ultimately the CPU spike will happen. The CPU spike will happen majorly on three reasons, so you have to look in. So one is the CPU itself, is being consumed, or second thing is memory, and third one is disk. So, and for the fourth one is also there, which is a network, a lot of network coming into picture, so that also spiked to the CPU. Okay, so now you see this, even though you put the 80 load is all good only. Okay, so now I will just try to increase 120. So let's increase even more, 120 users. You try to keep the clients. Okay, so now let's take a look. So it's actually all ratings, all ratings only. Okay, all almost ratings, and you see the CPU. There's a little much spike only. Okay, so there is no much button. And now let's say if I go to the, let's say I'll go with the 250 responses per 1 minute, 250 users per minute. Okay, so 250 responses, um, 250 users for 1 minute. Okay, the load, if I send it, so then what's gonna happen? So it's done. And if I look into the issues, there are no issues. Okay, so that means my shipping service to run, at least to work in a healthy environment, I require some memory, and I gave it. And almost my current design basically is enough to work for uh, 250 also. Even we can increase, and we'll find the saturation point even for this also. Okay, so probably we're time up, so but we can come back to that again. So but tomorrow we'll just try to make some kind of understanding of really what happened. Okay, so yeah, so that's what we're going to do tomorrow, and we'll come up with the benchmark values. I think benchmark there is much not now. Why? Because we have given T3 medium, and how much maximum numbers it can support. So we'll try to increase more, increase more. We'll see the again the saturation point. So with these current resources, how much actually, like let's say my system design, I want like 1,000 users. Let's put like 1,000 users is the requirement of the application. Okay, so because we're expecting 1,000 users on an average per minute or per second, based on that we design. So we're actually going with per minute. Okay, so RPM. So now when you go for an interview also, when you say someone like you're working on application, if you want to tell the seriousness of the application, you can say that, okay, so we are actually having an application which have on an average of some 3,000 requests per second, or some so 10,000 requests per minute, something like that you can say. Okay, so this is our design, and accordingly we have our infra. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense rather than just saying that I create a server and put it in the application. So this is a more sensible way of telling the things. Okay, but yeah, so and anyhow, so we try to come up with some small report saying that so this users is all okay. Okay, so how much is the memory usage and all, we'll just make some table, and we kind of understand, okay, so how is it happening. And usually I can bring up, I mean, usually the load testing will happen like this only. So current project I'm working on, so this company we have, actually this company we are actually, I mean, our client is actually having a vendor, so as this guy, so for testing the product, okay. So what this guy is actually going to do is test yantra. So basically he's going to do a load testing and publish the reports of our application. All right. So usually on the load testing, so what these guys actually going to tell is, so like this only, they will kind of make some report. Okay, I will just bring one quick screenshot, like just to understand. More into the report, I just want to give you a very high level. Yeah. So you see this. So what these guys are telling is the login service actually, if you are having some 200 users, okay, 200 users, okay, and so they tried on 500 users, they tried on 1000 login users, tried on 2000 some report they are telling, and and some, so some kind of, the reports actually they are trying to provision. Actually, even to this, before I would give more. Yeah. Mm. So actually what they're doing is they're doing kind of benchmarking the yeah, your site, try to see this, that it's more clear information. So on the load, actually on the 200 users, what is the response? So what is the response of your different services? On 200 users, the average time response is 25 milliseconds, and on 500 users the load, the average time response is 807. That means we're actually hitting some saturation here. So due to some reason, I mean, if 200 users is 25, so probably 500 users I expect some 50 number, but not 800 number, like you have seen, right? So our scenario, I mean, so for 20 users only, my shipping service is getting crashed, right? But now if I go with some 250 users also, it is fine now. Just increasing another 2 GB of RAM. Okay, it's already having 1 GB of RAM, I think. So we added, so 2 or 3 GB of RAM, so it actually kind of becomes stable even crossing the number. So such kind of saturations will help us in understanding by doing some load testing, okay, to kind of simulate the real-time scenarios. And yeah, so that's how it is. All right, so this is how we kind of do some load testing and understand what's really happening. Okay, so yeah, so that also we'll try to derive some small table and we'll come with some benchmark value. Using that particular benchmark value, we'll go with the auto scaling. Okay, so that's the idea. Yeah, there's a question, why do we need a vendor for testing? So I mean, when we have our test our own self, I mean, test ourselves basically. I am also a vendor basically to the client. Okay, so I'm working for a bank, so those are not the IT guys. Actually, they want a project to run, they're developing the project, so we are actually from the development side, and from the testing they want a third party, okay, so to test it exclusively for their requirement. Okay, so I mean, that's not in our contract. So initially whenever they signed the contract, it's only we took only we got only the development, so that's a client choice. Okay, now if you are sitting in an IT organization, okay, so purely the software development organization, and if you look into the product, yes, you will be having your own QA people, not a vendor basically. But even like, so most of the companies do the vendorship, so that's where this consulting comes up, consulting firms and all come into picture, right? So yeah, which you don't require a long term, right? So definitely, like let's say my product, I don't require a long term, I develop it and I want to operate, that's it. My rare development I come into picture, so at that point of time, so I don't really require the recruit the persons and maintain, give a long term salaries. Okay, so people go in different approaches, that's more into the business layer. Okay, but yeah, here it is the client's choice, and also the pointing to that, so you have additional point there, some automation optional script require intervals. Yeah, you want to run, you can run it and require intervals, however it is, you can do that, no problem. Okay, yeah. any any questions? Okay, all right. No questions. We'll meet in tomorrow's session and we'll continue many things in tomorrow. Bye. Good day. Good night.